So we'll kick off with Manchester City. They've been actually quite active in the early days of this transfer window. It looks like they're pursuing 3 deals. Have you been quite surprised at the level of activity that they've been doing so far?
Uh, well, look, January is a difficult market, but City have got huge PSR capacity, so that's not an issue. Clearly, on the field, they've got some issues, so you can understand that they would want to remedy that. I think, consistent with what we've talked about before, it demonstrates a level of confidence about the charges. And the potential impacts of those. I think it's a signal that they remain confident. I don't think it's definitive, but clearly it's a signal that they are confident. It's a signal that the message that they're giving to potential signings is positive, because I don't think it's possible that any player coming in at this stage would not be asking about that situation. So you would think that they were giving reassurance to agents and to players. But ultimately, they're signing players because on the field they are short, and they've won the last 2 games, but the performance levels have not been at the level that they would have expected. And so I don't think it's a surprise that they're looking. And of course, these deals aren't over the line yet, and the ones that that are rumored. So yeah, I mean, I'd only be surprised really if they were able to execute 3 deals of this scale in January, because that's not typically something that any team has been able to do, unless they're prepared to pay very big money.
Of course. And one of those transfers does look like it's going to be a big money move. It's Omar Mamouche from Eintracht Frankfurt. There'd look to be a part on the fees so that Man City want to pay nearer 50. Eintracht Frankfurt are looking for nearer to 67. Do you think that Man City would be held to ransom on that, or do you think they'd be quite firm on what they want to pay for a player?
Well, I mean, they've done the usual thing of getting the player on board first. So the player, as we understand it, has told Frankfurt he wants to go, and he only wants to go to City. And we know that when that happens, the clubs have 2 approaches. They can either play hardball and let him go in the summer, or they can accept the player's stance. And if they go for the latter, then clearly City's negotiating position is strengthened. Look, I don't think even those numbers are not too difficult to bridge with a couple of add-ons and contingent fees. And I think for a forward particularly, you would think that deal is something that could be done if City were keen enough, and it appears that they are. So, although having said that some of the noise coming out of Germany from some of the journalists was that Frankfurt were not prepared to sell under any circumstances before the summer. So we will see, but I would think that was a deal that will get done probably.
And then another one of those deals is Vitor Reis from Palmeiras. They're talking about a £33 million deal for him. He's only 18 years old. It seems quite a big fee for someone of his age.
Yeah, well, people are trying to get ahead of the curve. I think that feels to me like something. So, I mean, I've got no basis for this, but City's new sporting director is Hugo Viana from Sporting. He's not yet joined, but he is in Manchester at the moment with the current sporting director, Chiki Begiristain. And it seems to me that kind of deal feels like something that maybe Sporting historically might have done. They might have paid half the fee that City are going to have to pay, but a player that they would have brought over to Portugal first, bedded him in, and then sold him onto the Premier League. And really, I think what City are probably thinking on that deal is, here's a player with great potential. We'll bring him in now. We'll obviously have to pay, what is quite a big fee, as you say, but the fees now are, particularly for young players, there's such a sort of range. I mean, how you value a player that's never played in Europe ever at that sort of number is hard to understand from the outside. But clearly they think he's got massive potential. So, we'll see. But it feels to me like the sort of deal where that player would have ended up in Portugal first, ordinarily. But City's position means that they need to try and bring him in now.